Today is transfer deadline day. It ends 11 p.m. tonight, UK time. I've been talking to Fabrizio Romano, the Italian journalist and transfer expert, on whether Tottenham will do any business today, either players coming in or players leaving the club. Welcome to this transfer special. I'm very pleased to be joined by Jamie from the Daily Hotspur and my very, very special guest, Fabrizio Romano. Fabrizio, how are you? And thank you so much for coming on the channel today.
I'm okay, thank you. Thank you again for the invitation. Pleasure to be with you and ready to answer to your questions.
Fabrizio, I want to start with some rumours and links about our current players. Now, Dele Alli, is widely reported that he wants to join PSG. He's ready to join PSG. You've even said that yourself. What is the latest regarding Dele Alli?
Yes, I started to report this news like 2 weeks ago because I was told that Paris Saint-Germain really wanted this guy. They are in love with Dele Alli. Mauricio Pochettino obviously has a special relationship with him. So they're pushing to have Dele Alli in their team. And the deal is like almost ready because they have the agreement between clubs. They have the agreement with the player. Everything is set to be completed. The only thing is missing is the replacement for Tottenham. So Tottenham will let him go only if they will have a replacement. Without replacement, the player won't move in this window. That's the position from Tottenham. The player is hoping to move also if Tottenham don't have any replacement, just because the thinking around the player is he's not playing. So you need to replace just a not start player. So why this? But at the moment, the situation is still blocked. It's still up to Mr. Daniel Levy. So all the parts involved are waiting for his decision, his final decision, and to look if Tottenham will find a new midfielder or a replacement for Dele Alli or not. So also Dele is waiting, but he's really pushing to leave because he wants to play. He's always being respectful with the club and with the manager and with the fans. Obviously, he loves Tottenham, but he's not playing and he just wants to play. That's it. So easy.
Fabrizio, if I can follow up on that, do you expect that Mauricio Pochettino will come in for any other Tottenham players, either in this January transfer window or in the summer?
In January, I think no, just because Paris Saint-Germain idea is always sign Dele Alli or no one at the moment. So they are so happy with the team they had. But if they have the opportunity to sign a quality player like Dele with a special relationship with Pochettino, yes, I am not hearing anything with any other player from Tottenham. And I think next summer also, at the moment, there is nothing advanced with any player just because Pochettino doesn't want to be linked like saying, okay, I'm just doing my job if I had these players. So he wants to do his own job at Paris Saint-Germain as he did with Tottenham. And at the moment, the situation is so quiet between Paris Saint-Germain and Tottenham. The only exception is Dele Alli, but just because he's not playing, so because it's an opportunity. It's also a pleasure for Dele to join Paris Saint-Germain and Pochettino, and not only a request from Pochettino. That's it.
Fabrizio, just on the Dele deal, is it a straight loan? Is there like an option to buy involved, or kind of will it just be a loan until the end of the season?
No. It's a simple loan, straight loan, no buy option, just because at the moment with the buy option would be a problem to complete the deal between Paris Saint-Germain and Tottenham. So just about a simple loan with the salary paid by Paris Saint-Germain, obviously. If not, Dele Alli won't join the club. So Paris Saint-Germain are ready to pay his salary. But at the moment, it's a simple loan. No buy option, also because Tottenham want to keep the control of the player also for the future and decide next summer what they have to do with him if he will join Paris Saint-Germain.
And one replacement for Dele Alli that's been kind of discussed is Christian Eriksen, of course, a former Spurs player. Now, on the weekend, he scored a fantastic free kick in the Coppa Italia. Then Conte came out after the game saying that he wasn't going to leave Inter Milan. Obviously, a guy that potentially Spurs have been talks with in terms of with Inter Milan. Is that a player that you might see that might arrive at Spurs this month?
Yes, there's been some contact. It was not a direct contact between Inter and Tottenham, but it was like between intermediaries and some agents working to this deal. And Christian was totally open to join Tottenham back. In general, to be back in the Premier League, but obviously with Tottenham, he has no problem. And the situation was complicated by what we said about the situation of Antonio Conte and his goal, just because Inter can't sign any replacement. just in this moment, Inter are in a difficult economical situation, so they can only do like swap deals, this kind of deals, but no new signing, no new incoming players. So that's why the situation of Erickson is complicated. And also because these intermediaries working between Inter and Tottenham told to Tottenham board, if you want the player, Inter want a loan fee, and they also want the full salary paid by Tottenham, and it's the same for all the clubs they are in talks for Christian Eriksen. So at the moment, it's so complicated. Let's see in the coming days, just because, I think Tottenham know that Eriksen is an opportunity, but remember that the full salary of Christian Eriksen right now is around 4 million euros after taxes till June. More the loan fee you have to add. So it's not a normal deal. It's something really expensive for Tottenham. And imagine that this salary is the double since he joined Inter. So it's a problem for Tottenham by the side. So that's why it's not so easy with Christian Eriksen.
Just to ask on potential, sorry, Chris. Just to ask on potential replacements for Dele. Obviously, you speak about that they want a replacement for him. Are they confident that they'll get one?
At the moment, they are working on it, but they are really quiet. They are really relaxed by Tottenham side. If we find the right one, okay. If not, we want to keep Dele. So at the moment, the situation is quiet around the club, and they are like, I would say, relaxed. If we have a good opportunity, because January is normally a market of opportunities, better than me. So it's not just about Tottenham, it's for all top clubs. They are looking for opportunity and not spending 20, 30, 40 million euro. So that's it. They will look for this kind of chances. If not, they are ready to say no to Paris Saint-Germain. But really, let's see, because it's really particular. The player wants to go. Dele wants to go. He's pushing and pushing and pushing every day.
Briefly, I wanted to talk about Gareth Bale. Of course, he arrived back at the club after 7 years at Real Madrid. Now, it's been, quite disappointing for us Tottenham fans, because I think we expected a lot more from him. How do you see it that, will he be at Tottenham next season? Will this loan be renewed for next season?
If he will continue like this, I think no. I think it would be difficult. I'm told that Tottenham board told also to Gareth Bale, it's up to you in the second part of the season. You have to show your skills. We want the real Gareth Bale on the pitch. And in this case, they are ready to talk with Real Madrid. Just because, when Tottenham and Real Madrid signed the deal of Gareth Bale last summer, they were discussing like, okay, next summer we will talk again. Tottenham were open to try to extend the loan or sign Gareth Bale or discuss about the situation of Gareth Bale also for the future and not just for a one-season loan. Now the situation is different because the player is, as you mentioned, not at this best level yet with Tottenham, for sure. So they are expecting something different for Gareth Bale from the second part of the season. They are also respecting the fact that obviously we are in a particular season playing every 3 days. We have a match. So it's really complicated also to be at best level immediately. Gareth was not playing football since like 2 years. Obviously with Real Madrid, yes, but he was playing really never a starter. So it's something different for him. But now the second part of the season will be key for the final decision from Tottenham.
Now, of course, another player who arrived at Spurs from Real Madrid over the summer was Sergio Regulon. And of course, he's had a great deal more success than Bale has. Now, Spurs fans obviously really enjoyed watching him. But Real Madrid kind of have this option to buy him back. So how do you expect his future to play out? Do you expect Real Madrid to come in for him eventually and try to bring him back to the club? Or is he really happy at Spurs and you kind of see that he might stay here?
What I can tell you is that at the moment, I don't know what's going on because it will depend on Real Madrid. So they will decide in the coming summer and we will see the situation of the manager of Real Madrid, what will decide about the new players incoming and everything. But at the moment, Sergio Regulon is totally focused on Tottenham. He's so happy with Tottenham. He's so happy with Jose. He's so happy with the atmosphere around the club. So he's not planning like saying, okay, next summer I'm going back to Real Madrid. I'm happy to come back. He's just planning about Tottenham future. He's planning as a Tottenham player, not thinking to release to the clause for the buyback from Real Madrid. So he's just thinking as a Tottenham player also for the future. Then it's up to Real Madrid because if they pay, they get the player. But remember that the final decision is always up to the player. And possible the fact that Real Madrid are negotiating to sign David Alaba and they are in advanced stages because they have a verbal agreement with him. If they sign David Alaba, he could play as a centre-back, as a midfielder, but also as a left-back. Left-back would be also interesting to see the situation for Sergio Regulon because if they want to bring Regulon again at Real Madrid, they need to show him that he will be the starter as a left-back. So they still have, obviously, Marcelo. So it's not so easy at the moment at Real Madrid. They will play next summer, but Regulon is not thinking, okay, I'm going out from Tottenham in 6 months. He's planning as his future will be with Tottenham. So it's up to Real Madrid, but Sergio is so happy with Spurs.
Fabrizio, Tottenham defender Davinson Sanchez has had very limited opportunities under Jose Mourinho in the 14 months that he's been in charge. Is Davinson Sanchez a player that you see going out the door at Tottenham perhaps in the summer?
It's possible. It's possible if some offer will arrive. The player is not desperate to leave the club. He's still respectful with the manager, with the club. So he's still hoping to stay and to show his skills at Tottenham. But obviously, if he won't play, for sure Tottenham can consider for some bid. I'm told that Ajax were interested this winter really to sign Davinson Sanchez back to Ajax, but they found no agreement with Tottenham just because there was no option from them from letting him go. But next summer it's possible that something will happen. So it's totally open for Davinson Sanchez, but the player wants still to show his skills at Tottenham, and let's see in the coming months.
Another central defender that's kind of been linked with the move away from Spurs is Toby Alderweireld. He's obviously he's struggled for minutes over recent games. Is he a player that might potentially have been linked with the move back to Belgium? Is that something you can see maybe happening this summer, Toby Alderweireld leaving Spurs?
I'm told that he's totally the same feeling of Davinson Sanchez. He still wants to fight for the Spurs. He wants to show his skills. In this moment, Tottenham have a good atmosphere around the club, also with the manager, with Jose. So it's difficult to find players that wants to go. It's the same for Coco Lamela. They are not desperate to leave the club. They want to show their skills. They want to fight for the place. And in my opinion, this is so positive because when you have this kind of atmosphere where the players are not playing and are not started in the team, apart from Dele, all the other players, they are happy and ready to fight for their place. So at the moment, for sure, next summer, the situation will change because you know better than me that during the season, in the middle of the season, is not the same situation as during the summer when you can plan for your future, plan with your family and for your career and everything. So for sure, the players will make different ideas during the summer. But at the moment, they are still thinking to Tottenham and fighting for the place, and there is nothing advanced with their agents too. So at the moment, really quiet around both. And I think this is positive for Tottenham because they want to fight for the club. And in this kind of season, with the pandemic, with injuries, playing every 3 days, having the Europa League and the Premier League and domestic cups, it's not so easy to sell players. And it's positive, in my opinion, for Tottenham now.
Fabrizio, what's the latest with Gedson Fernandes? Is he going back to Benfica? Because we've heard many rumours about him then going on to Torino or even Turkey. And of course, Danny Rose as well hasn't even been given a squad number this season. And there's been talk about him possibly going to Turkey as well.
Yes, a lot of rumours, but at the moment from Tottenham, there is no confirmation about Gedson Fernandes. There are some possibilities here in Italy with Torino. I'm checking about Turkey and Galatasaray because at the moment I have nothing confirmed on this side. But at the moment, the situation with Torino is that they are still trying to get Gedson Fernandes on loan from Benfica. So I would say that between the two, Gedson Fernandes has some chances to leave the club in January in these coming days. And we will see if in Turkey, if in Torino, but he has chances to leave the club also because he is so young, he's a talented guy, but no playing, not ready probably for the Premier League. That's why they are considering to let him go on loan.
Apart from the Gedson Fernandes deal that might go through and the Dele Alli one, as you said, is there any other Tottenham players in the squad right now that you can see leaving in this January transfer window?
I would say no. It will depend also by Dele Alli, obviously, because if Dele is leaving, I think it's difficult. It's difficult some other players will leave the club. But at the moment, really, it's just up to the situation of Dele Alli at Tottenham. They are not planning for anything big or any player sold in the coming days. It's just up to Dele. So they are really focused on Dele Alli situation. They want to be back in a normal situation with Dele. Also, if it's staying to change his mind, just because, having this kind of player not so happy with the situation is never positive for the club.
Now, three players that maybe might commit their futures to the club are Heung-min Son, Harry Kane and Hugo Laurice, of course, kind of in talks over a new contracts. Can you give us the latest on where they're at and if you think they might commit their futures to the club?
Yes, it would be like step by step for the contracts. That's the way to work for Tottenham board. So first of all would be Son, because they know that in this case, the players are absolutely ready to discuss. They are talking by 2 months, 3 months. So they are open to extend the contract of Son and the player wants to stay. Now it's time to find agreement on the economical part. And if 5 or 6 years of contract, but the negotiations are on for new contract for Son, then will be time for Harry Kane, just because I think this year, 2021, he will negotiate also with Harry Kane and with his agent about the situation of his contract. So for sure, also Harry Kane is in the agenda for Tottenham to extend his contract. And let's see with Hugo Lloris, just because he's appreciated by Jose Mourinho. His situation is be different because he needs to decide about his probably one of the last contracts of his life. So he wants to decide with his family and everything. I have nothing confirmed at the moment about the rumors of Paris Saint-Germain. For sure, he had an amazing relationship with Mauricio Pochettino, but Pochettino doesn't want to sign all Tottenham players. So that's why at the moment there is nothing advanced. And we will see after Son and after Kane if they will go also with Lloris, but Tottenham are happy with him. So I think yes.
Fabrizio, before I move on to actual particular names, talking about potential incomings for Tottenham, do you see Tottenham actually buying anyone in this January transfer window?
The only one, in my opinion, will be the replacement of Dele Alli if he will leave the club. Other players, I would say no. Also, the rumors about Militao and this kind of players, there is nothing advanced just because they're happy with this team and they don't want to waste any money. But it's not just about Tottenham, it's a general feeling with Tottenham and with Liverpool and with Manchester City and with Manchester United. It's a market where you buy if you need something and not just to make some interesting deal or something like this, just because at the moment the clubs are losing a lot of money, as you know, because of the stadium and the fans are not in the stadium and they are still paying big salaries to the players. So if you have good opportunities or you need to replace some player, as in the case potentially of Dele Alli, okay, but they are not signing any player, just like, for example, Edin Dzeko was offered also to Tottenham as to other clubs, but they are not interested in this kind of deals. I see a lot of rumors here around Tottenham, but there is not.
Is there any players, though, that you could name that would be a potential replacement for Dele Alli? Because surely they would have to be an English player.
Yes, but at the moment there is no advanced talks for any player. As I told you, I was speaking with people around the club and I was told at the moment it's still quiet. There is nothing really like close to be completed. So let's see in the coming days from now to the weekend if something will change. But at the moment it's still quiet.
Marcel Sabitzer is a name that keeps being put about. Is that a potential signing for the summer?
Well, I missed the name. Sorry.
Marcel Sabitzer.
Yes, Sabitzer is a player that Tottenham appreciate. They are scouting him since 2 years, so they like the player. I would say that it's not easy to negotiate with Leipzig because they know that they are going to sell Upamecano next summer, so they will make money with Upamecano and won't be so easy to sign also in the same summer Sabitzer. But for sure, a lot of clubs are interested. Tottenham are among these clubs just because Jose likes this kind of players. You know, he has quality. He's also a fighter. He's running. He's not just a quality player, but he's really like ready for the Premier League football. And that's why Tottenham are appreciating him. But at the moment, they are appreciating him, yes. In contact, yes, to understand the situation, but there is nothing advanced yet. And also other clubs are interested in the Premier League as in the other countries, like in the Bundesliga. So Sabitzer's situation will be interesting because, in my opinion, will be one of the big names on next summer, but nothing advanced yet.
Now, a potential name, another Bundesliga midfielder that's kind of been discussed as a potential replacement for Dele Alli. Now, it wouldn't be a like-for-like replacement, and that's Borussia Mönchengladbach's midfielder, Florian Neuhaus. Is he a guy, and I know he's obviously been linked with a lot of different clubs. Is that a guy that could potentially be at Spurs, and what's kind of the situation with him?
He is one of the players that Spurs are scouting, as other clubs, as you mentioned, because also other English and not only English clubs, also German clubs are scouting him. At the moment, there is nothing advanced yet. So as I mentioned, for other players, there is nothing like close to be completed, something like this. But he's one of the players they're following, like as Sabitzer. They are looking at this kind of player. Imagine when we mention top clubs like Tottenham, they have a list for a position of like 8 or 9 or 10 players. Then they decide, okay, we go with this one. So this is the process for top class like Tottenham. They decide between the board and Josie and everything. Also about the price. Won't be so easy to sign players from German clubs in January. Really, it's really, really difficult because German clubs hate to sell players in the middle of the season. They have a different style, a different vision of football, and that's why, in my opinion, it won't be so easy for Neuhaus.
Fabrizio, we've heard and seen lots of rumours about Tottenham being interested in Southampton striker Danny Ings. Is Danny Ings a player that you think that Tottenham may sign in the summer? And will Tottenham stick with Carlos Vinicius and sign him on a permanent transfer?
He's like the typical opportunity, you know, that signing him as a free agent would be an interesting opportunity. So they will decide, I'm told, only after they are sure about the situation of Vinicius, because the key is Vinicius. They are happy with the player, but obviously he needs to show something more in the coming months when the second part of the season, the key part of the season, will come on. They will understand about the potential of Vinicius, if signing him or not. And it will depend also for Danny Ings from the situation of Vinicius. So it's like a domino, a potential domino for the striker of Tottenham. For sure, they're in contact for Danny Ings because it's an opportunity, but there is nothing close to be signed just because they want to decide, first of all, with Vinicius, and then they will go with the situation of Danny.
Now, Norwich City right back Max Aarons is another player who has been linked with a lot of clubs around Europe, Tottenham included. So I'm sure there'll be lots of competition for his signature. Is he a player that might arrive at Spurs in the summer or potentially this month?
This month, I think no, but next summer he's in the list. And also Manchester United are interested. So it will be interesting to see also the decision from the player if Manchester United and Tottenham will make an official bid, because at the moment there is nothing official, but both clubs are looking at him. And pay attention also to Italian clubs because they are making some inquiry for the situation of Max Aarons. So I think it will be an interesting player just because for right backs it's not so easy now on the market. There are not a lot of right backs with good quality, and Manchester United and Tottenham are looking at him, and we will see. But I think he's not moving in January.
British there in England at the moment. In the last couple of days, there's been lots of media reports and speculation about Di Maria of PSG possibly joining Jose Mourinho and Spurs in the summer. Any truth to that?
He's been offered to a lot of clubs. It's normal when you have a potential free agent with the quality of Di Maria to talk with a lot of clubs. It's part of the game, but at the moment he's not a target for Tottenham. There is nothing like advanced or negotiation started. He's been offered, proposed as to many other clubs, but Tottenham are not working to sign him right now, and he's still negotiating with Paris Saint-Germain to extend his contract. So it's still an open situation, but at the moment Tottenham are not working to sign him.
Now, a name that was really strongly linked last summer was Milan Skriniar from Inter Milan. Of course, I think it was very clear that Jose Mourinho wanted a big central defender that he wanted to sign. Is that an area that they may look to address in maybe the summer or this month? Is that something you can see?
I think next summer they will go for a centre-back, yes. You mentioned Milan Skriniar. And it will be interesting to understand also the value of the player, because last summer was around 45 million euro, 50 million euro. Now it's different because he's playing with Conte. He's having a good season with Inter. Inter fans love him. So it's so difficult to go for 35 or 40 million euro. And we will see if it will be Skriniar, if it will be another centre-back. I would also pay attention to the situation of Militao next summer, because as we mentioned, now it's different. But next summer, who knows? And another interesting name will be Nikola Milenkovic of Fiorentina, because he's out of contract at Fiorentina in 1 year and a half. And he's been scouted by a lot of English clubs, and Tottenham are among the clubs are sending their scouts to look at this guy. In my opinion, he's so talented, serious guy, good player. Sometimes he's also scoring goals, so he's a good centre-back. And for sure, I think they will go for a centre-back, but we have to see also about the budget they will decide to spend for this kind of player, because as I mentioned, for Skriniar, you need more than 40 million euro. And for Milenkovic, it will be around 35, 40 million euro. So it's up to the club. Also for Militao, we have to see what they will decide. But I think a centre-back will be in the list for Tottenham next summer.
Fabrizio, do you see Tottenham doing much business in the summer? Because, of course, Tottenham and Jose Mourinho certainly wants the challenge for that Premier League. And he said that he wants to be in the 3 cup finals. What do you think that Tottenham need to become that real force and challenge for the Premier League?
And that's a good question. I would say that obviously they need something like in this. I think that was a small mistake not signing a centre-back last summer, just because they had the opportunity. They were in talks for different centre-backs. So I think the centre-back will be a key position, because always the Mourinho teams start to be perfect when they have the perfect centre-backs. That's in Mourinho history. So he wants for next summer a new centre-back, and I think they will go for an important one, as we mentioned. Let's see who will be, but they need a centre-back. And in my opinion, they need also some experience in the middle of the pitch. So an important midfielder with some experience. So we will see, because, I think a lot will change about the situation of the pandemic, because if we will be still in this kind of situation with no fans in the stadium, after Tottenham, they have their own stadium, so it's a different situation. But if we don't have fans in the stadium and still problems with sponsor and with merchandising and with kind of situation, it would be really difficult to spend a lot of money on the market. If we'll be back into normality, and we hope for yes, for our lives and not just for football, but if we will be back to normality, it will be totally different, and Tottenham can go also strongly on the market. So let's see also about the general situation, because it will affect the market next summer.
Do you think that Jose Mourinho is happy with the current squad that he's got? If we maybe didn't make any incomings this month, would he be happy with the current squad that he's got? Does he feel it's enough to maybe go and challenge for the Europa League, say, and the Premier League?
Yes. Also because Jose is a fighter, he knows perfect that the situation now is like this for all clubs. As I mentioned, Barcelona are not signing players, Real Madrid are not signing players, Inter are not signing players, Juventus are not signing players. All English clubs are part of the situation of Arsenal and are not signing players. So he knows that the situation is general. It's not a problem with Tottenham. It's in this moment in transfers, you have a problem. You can spend a lot of money. So yes, he's so happy. I'm told that he's not making any problem to the board. Obviously, all managers in the world want to have a different player, a new player, incoming players is normal. But he's respecting the situation with the club, the general situation in football. He's happy with Daniel Levy. He's happy with the board. He's happy also with the situation in the dressing room, because as I mentioned, a part of Dele Alli, all the players are happy and ready to fight. So, as I mentioned, there is a positive atmosphere around the club, and Jose is part of this positive atmosphere, yes.
Fabrizio, we've seen a couple of rumours as well about our captain Hugo Laurice being linked to Maurizio Pochettino and, of course, PSG. Is there a chance that he could go back to France in the summer?
At the moment, no. Because they are happy with Keylor Navas. They are planning, if we sign, for Paris Saint-Germain side, if we sign a new goalkeeper, we go for a young one, not for an old one, with all respect for Hugo Laurice, who is an amazing player, but they would like to go for a young one. So at the moment, there is nothing advanced. Then if Tottenham will make different choices for the goalkeeper, as we mentioned about the situation of the contract, we will see starting from now for next season. We will see, but at the moment, there is nothing advanced, no.
Fabrizio, can I just ask, do you see that the likes of Harry Kane and Heung-min Son, do you see that Tottenham need to win a trophy to keep these players?
No, I think no. It's not just about the trophies. And it's just they are happy with the club. They are happy with the atmosphere. So at the moment, no. I think it's not just about the trophies. It's just about, obviously, the project. They want to win, probably not now, but in the future for sure. They want to win, yes. But when you sign a new contract, it's because you are convinced that the club are ready to win something. So they are planning with Tottenham at the moment, yes.
Fabrizio, thank you so much for joining us today. Really, really appreciate your time. And let's hope that you can come back on the channel and give us some more news in the summer. Thank you very much indeed.
I hope. Thank you again. Really big pleasure to be with you as always. And good luck for the season.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Fabrizio.
Bye, guys. And whatever you need.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
That was really good.
Text me when you want. Bye, guys.